In 1911, a young American historian climbed into the clouds of the Peruvian Andes searching for a forgotten city. What he found changed history forever. But the truth behind that discovery was even more extraordinary than anyone imagined. The rain fell in thin silver lines across the mountains as Hiram Bingham adjusted his hat and looked toward the endless wall of green jungle stretching beneath the clouds. Most people believed there was nothing there. Nothing but wilderness. Nothing but forgotten ruins swallowed by centuries of vines and moss. Yet Bingham could not shake the feeling that something waited beyond those mountains. Something important, something lost, something the world had forgotten. The year was 1911. The 20th century was racing forward with automobiles, telephones, and electric lights. America was becoming a global power. Cities were growing taller. Industries were transforming everyday life. Yet vast regions of the world remained unexplored. Among them stood the towering Andes Mountains of Peru. For centuries, stories had circulated about the Inca Empire. The Incas had once ruled one of the largest empires in human history. Their roads stretched thousands of miles. Their cities rose among impossible mountain peaks. Their engineers carved terraces into cliffs and built structures capable of surviving earthquakes. Then came the Spanish conquest. By the 16th century, the empire had collapsed. Many cities disappeared. Some were destroyed. Others were abandoned. Many simply vanished. Over generations, legends emerged of hidden cities buried deep in the mountains. Treasure hunters searched for them. Explorers dreamed of finding them. Historians debated whether they had ever existed. Hiram Bingham was fascinated by these mysteries. Born in Honolulu in 1875, he had not originally planned to become an explorer. He was an academic, a scholar, a man more comfortable in libraries than jungles. Yet history surprises people, and sometimes it chooses unlikely individuals to uncover its greatest secrets. While studying South American history, Bingham became obsessed with the final years of the Inca Empire. Historical records mentioned a place called Vilcabamba. According to Spanish accounts, it had served as the last refuge of Inca rulers resisting Spanish domination. Its location remained unknown. Many historians believed it had been lost forever. Bingham wanted to find it. His colleagues thought the task was nearly impossible. Maps were incomplete, roads were poor, the terrain was brutal. Even reaching the region required extraordinary effort. But the challenge only increased his determination. In the summer of 1911, he organized an expedition. The journey began in Peru. As trains climbed into the Andes, mountains rose around them like stone giants. The air grew thinner, temperatures dropped, the landscape transformed into a world of jagged peaks and deep valleys. Every turn revealed scenery unlike anything Bingham had ever seen. Ancient trails crossed mountainsides. Rivers carved through canyons thousands of feet deep. Clouds drifted below summits. It felt like entering another world. Local guides accompanied the expedition. Without them, survival would have been nearly impossible. They understood the terrain. They knew hidden paths. They knew which rivers could be crossed and which would kill a traveler. Most importantly, they knew stories. Stories passed down through generations. Stories of hidden cities hidden in remote places. One evening, while camped near a river, Bingham listened as villagers discussed ancient stone structures somewhere in the mountains. The details were vague. No one seemed particularly impressed. To them, such ruins were simply part of the landscape. But to Bingham, every rumor mattered. Every clue was valuable. The next morning, he continued deeper into the region. Days passed. The expedition struggled through mud, rain, insects, and steep slopes. Supplies became difficult to transport. Equipment suffered damage. Several members questioned whether the search was worthwhile. Bingham remained determined. Then fate intervened. Near the Urubamba River, Bingham met a local farmer named Melchor Arteaga. Arteaga mentioned ancient ruins high above the valley. Most outsiders ignored such stories. Bingham did not.
He immediately became interested. Where exactly were these ruins? How large were they? Who had built them? Arteaga agreed to guide him. The following day, July 24, 1911, would become one of the most famous dates in archaeological history. Before dawn, rain covered the valley. The river roared below. Mist drifted between mountains. Bingham and a small group began climbing. The path was steep, extremely steep. At times they crawled through dense vegetation. Branches scratched their faces. Mud clung to their boots. The climb seemed endless, yet slowly they gained elevation. Hours later, they reached a small farming area. A family lived there. Children greeted the visitors with curiosity. One young boy agreed to guide Bingham farther uphill. The trail narrowed, vegetation thickened. Ancient stone steps emerged beneath roots and moss. Bingham's heart raced. Someone had built these stairs, someone long ago. Then the jungle opened. For a moment, he could hardly believe what he was seeing. Massive stone walls rose from the mountaintop. Terraces descended along the slopes. Buildings stretched across ridges overlooking deep valleys. Clouds drifted among ancient structures. The entire city seemed suspended between earth and sky. Bingham stood speechless. Before him lay one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century, a place now known throughout the world, Machu Picchu. But in that moment, almost no one outside the region knew it existed. Centuries of isolation had protected it. Trees grew between stone structures, vines covered walls, moss concealed pathways. Yet the craftsmanship remained astonishing. Huge stones fit together so perfectly that even a knife blade could not slide between them. The Incas had achieved engineering feats that seemed impossible. Bingham walked slowly through the ruins. Every corner revealed new wonders: temples, terraces, plazas, observatories, homes, water channels. The city appeared remarkably intact. Unlike many Inca sites destroyed by the Spanish, this place had survived. The reason remained a mystery. Perhaps the Spanish never found it. Perhaps they considered it unimportant. Perhaps the mountains had hidden it too well. Whatever the explanation, Machu Picchu endured. As clouds rolled across the mountaintop, Bingham realized he was looking at something extraordinary. He did not yet understand its full significance. No one did. The world was about to learn that one of humanity's greatest lost cities had been waiting silently above the clouds for centuries. And this was only the beginning of the mystery. Because the deeper archaeologists explored Machu Picchu, the more questions emerged. Who lived there? Why was it built? Why was it abandoned? And what secrets still remained hidden beneath the stones?